Okay, so I was going to shoot a video today, so here we are. 7 profitable takeaways from 2022. I think it'll be super valuable if anyone who's on a similar journey to mine or is thinking about starting their business this upcoming year. I think this could be seriously helpful. For those of you that don't know, my name is Jack Hayes. I'm the founder of Profit Jack Enterprises, and in May, I graduated from Nova Southeastern University with a degree in entrepreneurship. And for the last I'm not a math guy. For the last 7 months, I've been able to solely focus on my business. And for those of you that don't know, I run a social media marketing agency. We also have a client acquisition arm that we are building out entering 2023 that I'm super excited about. Anyway, 7 profitable takeaways from 2023. The most attractive thing you can do is you. As weird as that sounds, double down on yourself. I found this to be true socially and spiritually. So when I talk about it socially, I just noticed more people that were like-minded to me or that resonated with me or that could help me tended to come into my life when I was simply focused on the business. And it was nothing but the business. There was no lazy days. There was no bullshit. It was everything I did each day for, I had a good 2-month period where I didn't go out. I locked in on me, and I found so many more people were just naturally attracted to me, and everything I really wanted that was geared towards that goal became more attracted to me. So that's the number one thing. Whatever it is, the most attractive thing you can do is yourself. And when you're debating on doing other things, it's okay to be selfish, especially in this time. I mean, I think most of the people listening to this are 18 to 25. I mean, the only person you got to prove it to right now is you. Build something that other people can gain value from. And then later on, you'll start to have the people that, yes, they're not necessarily on the same path as you, but they're gaining value and, they'll come in. Don't sacrifice doing what you need to do to be successful for people that are on completely different paths. They're simply not worth your time. So focus on you, see who's around when you do that consistently, and 100% double down on yourself. Learn and build systems. This is number 2. Learn and build systems, then expect success. I focused a lot. I've had my company since I was 17, 18, and I always I got the result and I went back and I repeated that process. There was no system behind it necessarily, I was choosing to ignore that. There was no system behind it. I simply found something that worked, kept replicating it, and then failed to build a system around it in the first early years. So going into 2022, a big goal of mine was, okay, what systems do I need to build to make a sustainable company? And the whole thing was I just had never even focused on the systems themselves. And a big part of that is learning. So I had to go down, what do I actually act like I know that I actually don't? Who really knows it? And what can I pull from them? So learning and building systems and then expecting success ultimately led to more success. I spent probably all the way up until my graduation and then even a little post into August, building a social media system. How do clients come in? What is the process when they get here? What kind of packages do we offer that see the highest ROI? And what team aspects or what pieces do I have now that I can build a sustainable product from? And what pieces do I need to add? So a big thing this year for me was appointment setters. I've always done my own outreach. I've always done my own sales. I've always done my own sales closings. I realized a lot of my competition, and I say that, in the nicest way possible, they have guys that's what they do. They're the best at outreach. They're the best at closing. They're the best at, really taking a buyer from A to Z or bringing a client in from A to Z and making them feel comfortable with the process. So the big thing was, okay, I need an outreach system. How can I go about doing that? Who's doing that effectively? Guys like Iman Godzi, guys like Arlen, guys like anybody in this digital space, a lot of them, they have systems that have led to their success and they spent the time to build them. So learn and build systems, then expect success. Build the vehicle, and then success will come naturally. But if you don't spend time building the vehicle, or you build the vehicle for a week and then you build it here and then you build it there, you can't expect success. There's no way. Third thing, be more interested than interesting. So this one I pulled directly from How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a great book if you haven't read it. And it just talks about, it's been a big key for me on the networking end of it this year, to be more interested than interesting. So what does that mean? It means showcase an interest in everyone you talk to and be the least popular guy in the room. People love talking about themselves. And if you can get that out of them, not only can you learn from them, you can find things to learn about them. And then also, I always say, another thing they say in that book is you can learn something from every man. So ask the right questions, be engaging, and people appreciate that. They want to come talk to you. When they know you're an outlet for them to talk about themselves and feel important, they're going to be the ones that come back to you. If you go into a social situation and you just brag about, oh, I built this, and oh, I'm doing this, and oh, I've done this. Honestly, nobody cares. They don't care. Okay. Like, put it, cool. That's cool. But if you're not reciprocating it, if you're not asking engaging questions, that person's more than likely going to walk away from that situation and say, that kid's full of himself. That kid thinks he's better than everyone else. That kid, thinks he's got it all figured out. All of these things, who I can honestly say I've heard, about myself from previous years. But this year I really dialed in and I was like, I'm going to change that. How can I be more interested than interesting? Ask more questions, showcase an interest, find out what you can learn from everyone. And when you hit that, you really know. When you're engaging in a conversation, if you learn something that you wouldn't have known unless you got to that point in the conversation with that person, you both feel it. You feel happy because you've gained value from this person, and this person feels happy because they know they provided that value and it clicked and you've been engaging. So number 3, be more interested than interesting. Number 4, do things that 99% won't, that the 99% won't do in order to get what the 1% have. And I know that's the hard truth and nobody wants to acknowledge it, and everyone's got all these different ways to doing it. But look at it. The top 1% in America in terms of salary is only $435,000 a year. And I say only because you're thinking about 99% of the people can't make $435,000 a year. Sounds a little crazy, but what are those 1%ers doing that 99% aren't doing, right? It's the little things. It's anything from habits. I learned it was from really the strict consistency. The 1%, they just do what they do every day, and it's not negotiable. So how do they provide value to the world? They continue to do it every single day, and it puts them ahead of 99% of the people. Therefore, they get 1% of the money because they're providing the 1% amount of the total, the 1% rarity of the total value. So do things that 99% won't, and you'll get what 1% have, whatever that thing is. And we all know it. I think for me, it was we can come back to the building systems. A lot of people aren't willing to learn things they don't know. So you could look at it from that approach. What does this guy know that I don't, and how did he learn it? And then spend the time to actually learn it. Do your homework. Don't just think you have it all figured out. Again, you're not gonna get anywhere with that. So learning daily is a big thing. Also, consistent habits. All these people that are exactly where you want to be, they do things that you simply don't do, or you've never tried to do. So for me, it was the meditating daily. It was reading, the top 1%, they read 56 books a year, right? My goal this year was 12. I'll probably end up hitting 11, but I'm happy with it. That's 11 more than I read the year before. And I can honestly say life's a lot different since I decided to do that. So that brings us into number 5, stack the small wins. Obsessing over the big picture only ruins it. So you have this big goal in mind. Don't obsess over what it looks like from day one. think about what's the first thing I need to do to go there, and then what's the next thing, and continue to stack those small, intricate details, the daily mundane things, whether that's checking your books, that's the outreach, that's 100 DMs a day, whatever that small win is, stack it and watch the big picture take place. We talk about success a lot regarding how you can provide value. For me this year, that was the podcast. I think bringing back the podcast did things, I could never even imagine. We don't even have a big audience, but because I do it every day and I allow people to feel important and I consistently provide value, doors have opened that wouldn't necessarily have been there had people not known that I was able to share that knowledge or that I had that, up here. And for getting the podcast consistent, simply, I can record an episode a week. Nothing's stopping me. I have an hour a week to sit down with somebody and learn something and have an educated conversation. In terms of habits, meditating daily. I was on a period for about probably the first 7-8 months of the year, meditated every single day, read, write, prayed every single day. Last month, we've gotten a little off that, but heading into obviously 2023, we're more dialed in. But that's what I mean about stacking the small wins. Once I went to the gym 1 day a week, got into 2 days a week, then I got into 3 days a week, and then now I'm 6-7 days a week. I built the momentum. It's the same thing with my business. When I did outreach for 5 days in a row, the next week was much easier, right? Same thing. Just anything you do that is positive, stack it. That's a W. And then watch the big picture kind of unfold. Don't obsess over, I'm starting this, it needs to look like this. And if it doesn't look like that for a second, you get negative, and then you stack you could stack the losses too. So that's the one thing they don't tell you. They say stack the small wins, but they don't tell you avoid stacking the L's. Avoid stacking the L's, right? Don't have any 0 days, and the picture will start to take shape. Don't obsess over the big picture, because it only ruins it. Stack the small wins, and you'll be much further ahead than people who are just guessing on their next move. Intention is everything. I think you can take any action, and with the right intention behind it, see a positive result. Now, if that action, if you just know, it's not like, I always say so when you're going to take an action and it's not geared towards your goal, it doesn't mean it can't be unorthodox. In business, we do a lot of unorthodox things that actually lead us closer to our goals that a lot of people would disagree with. But if the intent is not there, if I go in with that mindset before that action to say, oh, nobody's doing this, it probably won't work, it's not going to work. But if you go in with it saying, based on this, or, I have a feeling based on my previous experience or based on what this person told me, or whatever makes you believe 100% that action you're going to take is directly related and getting you closer to your goal, you'll get there. But you have to consistently do it. Intention is absolutely everything. Try not to have days where you lack intention with your action. Everything has a purpose and a target. My dad talked about it all the time when our baseball coach. Whenever you make a throw, it's got a purpose and a target. Same thing in life, right? Same thing in life. Intention is everything. You have to have a purpose and a target, and then proceed with action. You can't just think about it. You can't just say, oh, I want this. Oh, I want this. Intend for something, take the action geared towards it, and do it daily. So number 6, intention is everything. And number 7, patience is practice. I think huge thing for me going into this year was I am one of the most impatient people you'll ever meet. It kind of ties back into a lot of what we talked about today. I obsessed over the big picture. I constantly would bounce from thing to thing. I couldn't make up my mind with what I 100% wanted to do. And it all came down to I lacked patience. I lacked patience to take intentional action and see it through. I lacked patience to take intentional action and do it for a week or two straight. Patience is practiced. You have to, okay, I did this, okay with it, I see the result through, I'm going to do it again, and you're going to keep on doing it, and things will start to take shape. So patience is practice. Now just kind of going back through, the 7 we just talked about today. The most attractive thing you can do is you, socially and spiritually. Double down on yourself, and the universe will naturally attract things that are meant for you. Learn and build systems, then expect success. Again, it's very easy. Just go on TikTok and see people who've already made it, who've already put in the work, who've already done, learn and build the systems to get there, and think, oh, I can have that tomorrow. But remind yourself, have you learned and built those systems? And if not, don't expect success. You have to go down that route. You have to learn it. You have to learn it consistently, and you have to apply it. Be more interested than interesting. Everybody wants to know the secret to networking. It's 100%. Sorry. It's 100% just making people feel important and showcasing that you have something to learn from everyone. Number 4, do things that 99% won't, and you'll get what 1% have. And get as close to that as you can. Nobody says you got to be the 1% this year, but if you can get further away from that 99 and closer to the 1, you're going to be in really good shape. Look at what the 1% do. Look at what they have accomplished. Look at how they learn. Look at how they grow, and just start stacking those small habits, which brings us into number 5. Stack the small wins. Obsessing over the big picture is only going to ruin it. Have that goal in mind. Start to do the little things geared towards it, and don't try to get there in one day. Number 6, intention is everything. Again, just learned the days I'm most intentional with my thoughts and my actions, and if I do this, should result in this, or what can I gain out of this by doing this, and how is it getting me towards my goal? It's everything. It's led to the most success I've been able to see. So intention is everything. Patience is practice. Remember, if you struggle with patience, learn it, learn little things, learn the meditation, learn this, learn that. And in situations where you feel yourself getting ahead, take a deep breath, realize that everything happens for a reason, and understand that it's a good opportunity for you to practice patience. And I wrote a couple things on here for 2023 as far as what I kind of want to bring to the table. So if you are still here, I know this episode isn't meant to be super long. I want to showcase what I teach, and a big part of that, like with our social media strategy, and how I have clients where we will make 21 clips a week, so that they post 3 times a day. I really want to showcase the scalability of that within my own brand. So you're going to start seeing a lot more content. A lot of the systems I've spent time building, I'm going to show everyone what those systems are, but I've needed time to kind of see them come to fruition. Okay, I built this. Now I've seen some success with it. Now I feel comfortable showcasing it. So it's not that I'm not practicing what I preach. It's just that I'm spending time making sure that these systems are dialed in for others, and making sure that they are successful products before I just come in and bring them full circle to the greater audience, because I don't want to show something that doesn't work. I think that's scammy and inappropriate. And then kind of just coming back to the end of it, I guess my big thing for 2023 is I want to not obsess over the big picture and just simply do the little things right every single day. I learned that in 2022. I get to apply it in 2023. A lot of the stuff I've learned in 2022, I'm going to continue to apply in 2023. However, I would say there's a couple that still need some fine tuning, and I'm excited for what the year ahead looks like. So if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, go follow my YouTube, whatever you got to do. Rate the show on Spotify. It helps us a lot. I don't do any paid advertising, so it's all word of mouth. And I'm looking forward to a great year. Thank you.